Join me. I can see it frightens you to look into my deepest blue. But I'll be watching you from here.
Hi there, how are you? Welcome to Sydney on a Thursday night. Spring is starting to kind of rear its little head just slightly. It's not exactly warm, beautiful spring weather, but it's not freezing. I'm not wearing my Ugg boots today, and that's a good start. And I'm only wearing half a top, so it can't be too cold, right? I hope you're doing well wherever you are. I've had a pretty nice week, even though it feels like a return to winter here. But you know, hey, that's not so bad. I've got an exciting week of gigs coming up. I've got the Star Casino gig on Saturday afternoon. So how's this? I do a gig at 4:30, and I'm home by 8 o'clock because it's just down the road. And then I've got Saturday night because I'm such a party animal. I'll be out and about in my lounge room on Saturday night. And then I have two gigs on Sunday. Sunday daytime, lunchtime, I'm at a place called La Boca Palms. And this is actually a restaurant owned by a friend of mine. And, you know, we all know how difficult it has been for restaurant businesses and other businesses during this COVID time. And the fact that my friend Sebastian, who I know is a bass player, but is also an amazing chef and business person, he not only had his other cafe open, which was open before all of this happened, but during these COVID times, he opened a brand new business. And he, along with, I guess, kind of his business partner, Julian DeSisto, who's an amazing singer, the two of them are determined to bring live music back. And so they have created this Sunday afternoon session where they have, you know, little duos and trios and things. And it's like a meal, beautiful lunch. I think it's a 2-course lunch plus a beverage. That is an alcoholic beverage, which is nice, and the music. So I'm thrilled to be part of this, and that's on Sunday. Hi, Darren. It's wet and windy in the southwest part of the UK. I'm sorry to hear that. Well, you know, I mean, at least you are kind of in autumn, right? But we're supposed to be in spring, and I can't be too ungrateful. We have had some beautiful weather, but it just hasn't been that nice this week. But hi, Larry, how are you? And how is it for you? I hope it's a nice day there. It's very early in the morning, so it's probably hard to tell what it's going to be like. But yeah, that's my Sunday gig during the day, and that's on the Northern Beaches in Palm Beach, which is a beautiful part of Sydney. It's about an hour or an hour and a half from where I live, I'm near the inner city. But then afterwards, I've got a gig down in Wollongong, which is about an hour and a half from my place. So I've got a big drive to get to my second gig. But hey, I am so grateful to be working that I'm happy to go anywhere, you know? Send me anywhere and I will sing. Oh, it's wet where you are, Larry. We have just got through a few days of rain. And I'm really hoping it's going to clear up because there's nothing like being on the northern beaches of Sydney when the sun is shining and it's lovely and, you know, you're eating a nice meal and hopefully enjoying the music. Yeah, let's hope people enjoy the music. So, you know, if you've been tuning into my live streams recently, I've been on a foray into country. And that's because I did a gig where the worksheet actually asked us to do modern country, which is not my genre at all, but I have had the loveliest time finding new songs, finding new genres. And I know, Darren, this is one of your favourite songs, the Lady A song that I did, that I ended up learning for this gig and I really, really enjoyed. And then my friend Larry told me about the live stream that they did recently, and I watched that. I think that was yesterday. And I didn't get to actually hear that song in particular, Need You Now, but they were fantastic. I mean, I have not been a country fan. I just haven't been really that knowledgeable about it, to be honest. And I was so impressed. I mean, it was just beautiful music, the harmonies, they were tight and they were warm and beautiful. So really enjoyable. But one of the songs that my friend Larry actually mentioned, hey, Cowan, how are you? You need a giggle. Well, let's see what we can do for you, right? Okay. It's been, I've picked up a gig in 3 weeks for my friend's opening night for her new bar. That is brilliant. Isn't it fantastic? It's like my friend with this gig I'm doing on Sunday, that people haven't stopped being entrepreneurial because the times are weird. They're still opening businesses, still starting things. I think that's just so to be commended. And good on you, mate, that you're going to be part of that. I'm very, very happy. Well, when I was talking about this gig where I had to learn the country music, my friend Larry sent me a few links to different songs. And this guy, he knows his music. I tell you what, you mention anything and he knows the history of it. It's great. And I don't have a lot of education in country, so it's been particularly helpful for me. But he sent me the link for one song that I know super well, but I never really considered it to be country at first, because I don't know if you know Veruca Salt. Veruca Salt is probably alternate rock, indie, and, you know, I love Veruca Salt, female lead singer, great rock voice. And they released an album of covers and kind of unusual covers. Excuse me, you can still getting over this stupid cough. And one of the covers on the album that my friend Darren, who often tunes in, so Darren, if you happen to be listening, you know you're a great educator of my music tastes. He gave me this CD. It was a little while ago, you know, when CDs were the thing, which I still think they are. He gave me this CD that had a whole lot of covers on it from like this, you know, punk alternate rock band, and the covers were not what you'd expect at all. One of the songs was this particular song, and it was the first time I'd heard the song, so I didn't know that the song was originally a country song. So I might play it for you, if that's okay. So, Carwin, I pretty much just looked up the chords today, and they're tricky, and it's got a key change, and I'll probably stuff them, so this will give you a giggle. I think the song is beautiful. I hope I don't stuff it. All right, I had to put the voice of God on. That was me playing with the knobs. See if anyone can recognise it yet. I know you will, Larry. Why does the sun go on shining? Why does the sea rush to shore? Don't they know it's the end of the world? 'Cause you don't love me anymore. Why do the birds go on singing? Why do the stars glow above? Don't they know it's the end of the world? It ended when I lost your love. I wake up in the morning and I wonder why everything's the same as it was. I can't understand, no, I can't understand how life goes on the way it does. Why does my heart go on beating? Why do these eyes of mine cry? Don't they know it's the end of the world? It ended when you said goodbye. Why does my heart go on beating? Why do these eyes of mine cry? Don't they know it's the end of the world? It ended when you said goodbye. So that song is, of course, Skeeter Davis. And I only knew it as this, I mean, to be honest, Veruca Salt did it very poppy, and they didn't do it rock and alternative and punky at all, which is their thing usually. But it was only when I just went, whoa, how cool is that song? You know, I love myself a little bit of melancholy. And so I just, oh my goodness, don't they know it's the end of the world? It ended when I lost your love. I'm such a softie, and I'm such... yeah, anyway, the song touched me so much, and the melody is so beautiful, and the chords are lovely. And so I looked it up, knowing that it was a cover because it was a CD of covers that I first heard it on. And then I heard the Skeeter Davis version, which is kind of pop country, really. It's quite poppy still, but it's got some of the country instruments. And I looked it up, and there's actually about 50 covers, like properly released covers. So it's obviously a song that a lot of other people have fallen in love with as well. So thank you, Larry, for reminding me, because it's been years and years and years since I heard that song, and I haven't sung it. And I just, when you mentioned it the other day, I went, oh, that song. I mean, don't you love it? Isn't it the best thing when you hear a song and it just gets to you? And that song, it's kind of simple, but it's beautiful. You know, not necessarily my version, but the original versions are gorgeous. So, yes, I appreciate you reminding me of the existence of that song. Well, we had a little bit of drama in our house last night. I don't know where she is. She's acting all innocent. My cat. Anyway, she came through the back door with a frog in her mouth, and she'd obviously found the frog in the backyard or something, and she obviously had intended to eat it, even though it was as big as her head, but I don't think it tasted very good because there was all this, and you know, I'm not going to go into the gory details, but she was frothing at the mouth. I was a little bit worried at first, and you know, the frog's going crazy and the cat's going crazy, and everybody survived, and we rescued the frog. I got to say, I love my Smokey, but, you know, if I was a smaller animal, I think she'd probably eat me. And I didn't, have my phone ready to video her doing this, but I thought, I bet you there's some random cat and frog video on YouTube, because if you can imagine it in your brain, it's on YouTube, just about. So here's the random cat frog video that I found on YouTube, because everybody needs a bit of cat and frog video in their life, right? And the cat looks like Smokey. Well, not real cats. Isn't it funny? I'm sure. Hi, Lou. How are you? I'm sure that you've seen my Smokey. It's very surprising to me that she didn't jump on the keyboard in the middle of the song, as she usually does. But she looks a lot like the cat in that video. And so there you go. There's my cat story. It's funny, actually. I'm finishing off my new album, Wallflower, and I had a particularly delicate vocal to record, so I set everything up and, got myself in the mood, and everything was quiet. I've got kind of noise-cancelling blinds and doors and things in this room, so I just closed everything in. Anyway, I'm singing, and it was that kind of singing that's almost just breaths, like this, and so, you have to really focus to get kind of the sound out, because it was just such a delicate vocal, and I'm singing it, and I thought, it's sounding the way I like it, that's pretty good, and then right in the middle of it, I didn't even realise Smokey was in the room, and she's jumping on the keyboard, breaking the spell completely. Lucky she's so cute, I tell you what. Cats. Okay, so good news for this week. This is kind of just weird news that I came across when, I think it's when I was looking for cats and frogs. And actually, this will be good for you, Carwin, because, well, firstly, let me start. During ISO, one of the things that my family have been doing a lot is playing video games. I'm sure we're not the only people doing that, right? And we're not in isolation anymore, but we've kept the old Nintendo Wii set up. You know, it's years and years old now, and, you know, you can't even buy the Wiis anymore. But I've always loved Mario Kart. Does anyone else love Mario Kart? It's just, I don't care what new games come out. I love Mario Kart. And I used to live in Japan, right? I was a singer in Japan for many years, and I have a massive love for the country. And one of the things I love is the quirkiness and the cuteness of their culture. And the last time I went was about 2 years ago, and I heard that they had Mario Kart racing actually in the street. And it looks like this. And you dress up.
There are few places in the world that embrace pop culture and subculture quite like Japan. And here in Tokyo, you can drive right into that culture and explore the city, not by foot, by bus, but by Mario Kart. It's very important to get an international driver's permit from home, as you'll be driving on the streets of Tokyo. All right, time to get suited up.
On first.
Anyway, you get the idea, right? How cool is that for someone like me who likes to dress up and someone who is obsessed by Mario Kart? So I tried to go last time in Japan, but there was actually an issue with the passports and we couldn't do it. But I've just found out, Carwin, that they have it in New Zealand. They have real life Mario Kart racing somewhere in New Zealand. I don't know if it's anywhere near you. I didn't read actually where it was, but they've obviously got the same kind of idea as this Japanese thing, and they're doing it there. So please do it for me and send me a photo. Next time, if that travel bubble that the world, that New Zealand and Australia keep talking about. So for those who don't know, New Zealand has done extraordinarily well with their COVID numbers. Australia's done pretty well too, and there's all sorts of ideas about there being a bubble between Australia and New Zealand, because, I mean, really, basically, there's so much joining us together anyway, right, except for land. You're just across the ditch. We're just across the ditch. We're similar in cultures and people and so many things, but different enough to make it a really interesting place for us to visit, and hopefully vice versa. But they're talking about opening up a travel bubble so that even if we can't travel other places overseas and they can't come to us, at least New Zealanders and Australians can swap holiday destinations. So if that happens, I'm going to come to New Zealand and visit you, Carwin, and do Mario Kart. I think that would be awesome. Okay, so, you got to guess. Anybody a Mario Kart fan? Am I the only obsessive here? I wonder if you can guess who my character is. Now, I hope you know me well enough not to go obvious and be Princess Peach or something, because that's definitely not me. This is me. Can't you see the resemblance? And he goes, ha, 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 Wario. His name's Wario, for those who don't know. Anyway, I absolutely love Mario Kart. Okay, you can go now, Wario. Okay, so the other thing that I've been doing this week, getting ready for my album, I'm thinking very seriously about releasing Wallflower, the new album, on vinyl, as well as CD and download and all the usual things as well. And I've been lucky enough to appear. It's funny how we say appear when you can't hear somebody on a CD or on a record. I mean, you can only hear them, but we still say appear. Anyway, did you hear that? Did you hear a glass of water being knocked over? I wonder who that could be. Oh, now she's licking it up off. Oh, that's great, Smokes. Come on. Here you go. At least you can pay your way by saying hello to everybody. You just come and knock everything over. Cheeky thing. So yes, I've been lucky enough to appear on a couple of records as a backing vocalist and a lead vocalist, but never as an artist in my own right. I was a guest artist on a DJ release in the UK, which is very exciting, and it even charted. So, I'm very grateful. And Smokey, hi, Sebastian. I was talking about you earlier and about our wonderful gig on Sunday that I'm very much looking forward to. And then I've appeared as a backing vocalist on another album. And there's something about being on the physical big black disc that makes it feel, I don't know, somehow more legitimate. And, I've done lots of CDs and appeared on other people's CDs, but something about the record. But I've never had a record of my very own. So I've been researching it this week, and I'm very lucky to have a guy mixing and mastering my album who's a bit of a legend. And interestingly, because I'm, such a punk, he's a legend in the Australian punk scene. I'm talking about Cub Calloway, for those who may know him. And he was in the Saints and worked with the Celibate Rifles and a whole lot of those really legendary Australian punk bands. And we became friends through a good friend of mine, Damien Lovelock. Rest in peace. We lost him around a year ago. And we did a big concert to him, in tribute to him after he died at the Emerald Theatre, and that's when I met Cub Calloway and a whole lot of other legends of the Australian music industry, let me tell you. It was really amazing. Anyway, Cub and I became friends, and I sent him some of my music. We swapped music, and he, one of the songs I sent him, he goes, "Yeah, I really like the song. The mix is a bit shit." Oh, okay. And he said, "Can I remix it?" And I went, "Sure." It was like a song that was 10 years old, and but anyway, he remixed it. And when I say remixed, he didn't turn it into a dance mix. He just tweaked it. And the interesting thing is, my voice sounds completely different and better. And I've actually played people the two versions, and they said, "Oh, the second time you sang it was so much better." But it's exactly the same vocal, and it's just that he's got amazing ears. And the way I would describe it, he manages to carve out a space for my voice to sit. And it doesn't make it louder, it just makes it kind of present. Anyway, he is a god. And we are doing this thing. He's got an original music project as well. He's in Canberra, and he sends me his tracks, and I do all the backing vocals, and I send them back. And I send him my tracks, and he mixes them for me. And he knows all about vinyl, and he even mixed and mastered one of Rick Springfield's albums back in the 80s. Anyway, he's the guy. And he was telling me all about vinyl, and he's, a nerd in the best possible way. He knows all that kind of stuff. I learned so many interesting things. I mean, it's really expensive to get vinyl done, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do it yet, but I'd love to. And some of the interesting things are, one, this is something I'd considered but didn't really know the details of. They say the sweet spot of the length of an album should be around 38 to 40 minutes. If you think about modern CDs, they're often up to an hour. And so I was kind of focusing on that kind of modern standard for an album. Not that you have to have that long, but that just is quite common. And now I'm thinking, oh my goodness, if I want to do vinyl, I've got to just pick the best stuff, which is good. It's good for everybody, right? And just narrow it down. I could still have a few bonus tracks on CDs and stuff like that. So 38 to 40 minutes. And if you can go longer, and if you look at those KTEL specials where there's like 100 tracks on an album, they do exist, but what it means is they've got to get the grooves closer together in order to fit the more music on there, and that downgrades the quality of the music. So the ideal is 38 to 40 minutes, as in altogether, so about 20 minutes each side. The other thing that I had no idea about, it's not always the case, but if you go back to some of the really classic albums, if you've owned anything on vinyl, you might notice that the first couple of songs are the big, dense songs. So like, I'm thinking of a Led Zeppelin album I've got. There's, I can't remember what songs they are. Is it Black Dog, I think, it opens one of the albums, or is the second song. But that kind of thing with heaps of guitars, and it's louder, and there's a lot happening in the songs. And they get kind of quieter and less full sounding type of songs as you get to the middle of the record. So say there's, 5 songs on each side. When you get to number 5 on side A, number 5 is probably quieter. and then you turn the record over and you kind of start again. So the first song on side B will be big, as will be the second, and it'll get quieter again, and the last song is probably the quietest. And that's not only for your listening experience, which is what I thought. It is actually because of the grooves again, because if you look at a circle, obviously the grooves are bigger and more widely spaced around the circumference, and as it gets in towards the label, it's denser, and so you can't get as much good quality information in. So the songs with all the lots of instruments and, you know, lots of dynamic and big sounds tend to go on the outside of the record. Now you might be saying, oh, dear Amanda, I knew that, but I had no idea. I think that is amazing. I love it. I just love talking to Cub because he is such an expert in this kind of stuff and he's passionate about it. And so I really want to make a record. So wish me luck. There's only really, there's a couple of plants in Australia and they're based in Melbourne. Problem, of course, is sending records is they're heavy. So if they're not in your city, it gets expensive. And really the postage from Melbourne to Sydney is probably the same as overseas to Sydney anyway. I guess postage rates are so ridiculous here that I'm thinking I'm going to be doing it overseas. Not that I'm not trying to support local industry, it's just there's all sorts of reasons. Anyway, I'm very excited about all of that. Carwin, our local Fleetwood Mac tribute band is looking for a backup singer for their gigs. Are you going to do that? Or if I come over, I know every song, every harmony of just about every Fleetwood Mac song that exists. So if I come over for a holiday, maybe, you know, I can fill in. And did I tell you already that's the third gig? So after doing Le Boca Palms gig on Sunday, the lunchtime gig, which I'm very much looking forward to. Yes, to country. I didn't know that, Seb. I never would have thought it. But yeah, I mean, there are some cool country songs, absolutely. But after I finished my gig at Palm Beach, and I think I told you I'm driving to Wollongong. That was me, not the cat. That gig is my Fleetwood Mac gig. So that's Rumours, and that's at Beaches in Thirroul, which is near Wollongong, a beachside suburb, this beautiful big pub that just has really great music all the time. And it almost feels like Rumours, that's the name of my band, Rumours' second home, because we play there regularly, and it's one of those places we go and it's jammed. In fact, the owners get nervous and they hire more security on the day that we play because it's always so packed. They love Fleetwood Mac down there. So this is the first time that we've done it since March, since COVID, and I'm a little bit nervous. I just cannot imagine people social distancing, not dancing and not going crazy, because that's what they do in this gig, and that's kind of why we love it. Because we feel like rock stars, even if we're just in some pub down the coast, you know, people make us feel good. They're so into the music and they really appreciate us, which is, you know, nice. So anyway, I'm looking forward to it, and I think I'll feel lucky that I'm on quite a high stage. So there'll be at least a bit of distance between us and the audience, but yeah, very much looking forward to my whole weekend of gigs. So I know it's only Thursday night. I hope you've got lots of things exciting that are coming up for you. I know for the Northern Hemisphere, you're miles away from your weekend still, but it's nice to look ahead. And have a great one, and I will see you hopefully next Tuesday, or I'll be back here, gigs permitting, because I have been picking up a lot of Thursday night gigs lately. Just keep an eye on the Facebook page. I always make sure I schedule the live stream in advance, so if you'd like to come, you can pop in anytime. And yeah, have a good one. I'll see you soon. All the best. Bye.